show. I think that Spain were massive against Croatia. Croatia played quite well. The result of that game would get someone without that.
I know there's a kind of confusion and chaos in that attacking turn, and that's what we saw today. Italy and England went forward. They couldn't really keep the ball because there was no defined, like you said, rule for some of these players. Except there was one time for like 5 minutes they were able to keep the ball around and they couldn't really penetrate anything. So I think Southgate. I'm not one of the people that decides him. I'm not. That's not saying that he's a wonderful coach, but he has done a good job for England. I'm not going to lie. He hasn't won it, but I mean, going for three major tournaments and going all the way to semi-final and finals, it's not an easy feat to achieve. And Transit TV, welcome back again to the studios. The Heroes are on. Started 2 days ago. We've seen some very exciting, just like we said during the preview to the tournament, that it looks like it's going to be an exciting one because almost all the big teams in Europe are having a good time now with their national teams. It looks like the rebuild in Europe has gone around the continent. A lot of the big teams, the big nations have almost found back their rhythm with the national team. So I always expected that this Heroes was going to give fans a lot of fun. And so far, 4 or 5 games have been played. No, about 7 games have been played. And it looks like the tournament is leaving to that bidding. With my brother Ubum, we're going to look at a few highlight or talking points of the matches played so far, especially England. Ubum, you are welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Reggie. It's a pleasure. Happy Father's Day to all our viewers out there. It's a wonderful day to be alive.
Yes, and before we start, I'm going to use the first few seconds to commiserate with the Arsenal family and the family of Kevin Campbell, the Arsenal legend who passed away a couple of days ago. A very fine bloke. I didn't watch him play football for Arsenal, but in the last few years, especially in the dark years for Arsenal, he remained one of the very positive voices about Arsenal, and he was adamant that this day that Arsenal fans are experiencing now, enjoying now, was going to come, especially in the early days of Arteta. Somehow he was almost the only person that was very, very adamant that this joy that Arsenal fans are having right now with regards to the cultural rebuild, the entire club, the team itself, what Arteta was doing, he remained adamant. I used to watch him in so many podcasts, getting cooked by fans. People wanted, but he had a very infectious, positive outlook for the club, and unfortunately, he is not going to live to really enjoy this period. But he was one of the voices in the wilderness that predicted that this day was going to come. So we commiserate with the Arsenal family and with his family, and we will pray that the family will find the strength to endure this huge loss. Very nice bloke, very respectful and humble person that all the people that I've seen, on YouTube and punditry that, commands some solid respect for people that he comes across and even the audience. Always cheerful and happy and brings joy to anybody that watches. And he also was very insightful in his views about this beautiful football. So we pray that his soul will rest in peace. Good morning, word for Campbell before we move on.
Well, you said it all. Very wonderful gentleman that we enjoyed, watching. He was on the channel called the Hybrid Squad, and apart from that, he was almost on every channel showing you that he was a man that was very approachable, easy to get along with, that was always there to help up and coming, people that were getting into journalism, getting into podcasting, getting into sharing their views on YouTube with others. So people like him are rare to find these days. Like you said, we pray that God will give his family the fortitude to be at a loss, and that his family will also be well taken care of moving forward.
Yes, having said that, we move into this one. Germany started this show with a very scintillating display for their fans, and being a host nation, it's been a long time. I remember when we were doing the preview for a tournament, I mentioned that Germany looked to me like a team that are very resurgent, and that they showed. Kahavas, our boy right there, also shown 1 assist, 1 goal in the 5-1 game that Germany had. They also have Switzerland, had a very good game against Hungary. Spain, cleaned out Croatia 3-0, and Italy won Albania after overcoming the fastest goal considered in this tournament, history of the tournament, and they're coming back to win 3-1. Today we saw Slovenia and Denmark play 1-1. England beat Serbia 1-0, and the Netherlands also survived early conceding of goal and came back to win 2-1 against Poland. Apart from England, these games, which of these teams have really impressed you from what you have seen so far?
Well, it's been a wonderful Euro so far, with good attacking football on show. I think that Spain were massive against Croatia. Croatia played quite well. The result of that game would get someone without that not having not watched the game would think it was dominated by Spain, but it wasn't. That was after I believe 160 something games. For the first time, Spain did not win the possession game. We're not ahead in possession. So Croatia actually had more possession in that game, but the Spanish team were very clinical, and I think that when you have a team that has the flair already, the technical skill and ability is already there, and they learn the pragmatic defensive side of the game, they become really, really hard.
Very strong, yes.
Yes. So that's what's happening with Spain. The technical quality is there already, and now they've added, knowing how to concede possession. And we know that the Spanish teams we've seen in the past in previous tournaments will pass you to death, and the games become kind of boring because they are passing and passing and passing. But more and more since Luis Enrique showed up, they've started to become a bit different with the way they play. Mm-hmm. And I think their current coach is underrated. He's nobody, I don't even know his name, but I know he's a quality coach because you see his side play, you know what's going on. So yes, the Spanish team will be a force in this tournament.
And he's giving young players opportunity.
He's giving unknown, yes. Young and
surprised to see Yamal start that game.
Yes, yes. And he was a key player for Spain there. Right. So the Spanish team will take some beating in this tournament. I think the Italian team also are a dark horse that nobody should play with. If you mess up, they will score, and then it's very hard to score against them. They were caught sleeping earlier, but they recovered pretty well. So Italy and Spain have shown me good stuff. I've seen some good stuff also from
Germany.
Of course, from Germany, like you already mentioned. The Germans are at home. Florian Wirtz and Jamal Musiala will be difficult to deal with in this tournament.
Professor, he's having the time of his life right now. That young man is just fearless and seems to know what exactly he wants to do. For me, Italy has really
yeah, let me just mention one other team so far. I think the Dutch were okay, but Switzerland, if Switzerland get through the first round, it's going to be hard to knock Switzerland out in the playoffs because they are a well-drilled side.
And it's been a long time coming. They've not really been pushovers lately. They've really been a game for anybody. Even the last Euros too, it wasn't that easy.
Yes. Yes. So I think they will be difficult, especially if you allow Granit Xhaka run the game. He will kill you with very good passes. That man is an incredible player. The key to holding Switzerland will be shackling Xhaka. But let's see how that goes.
Yeah. The people have really been very impressed with all these people. Yeah, all these things you have mentioned, very quite on point. But I will stick it, pencil out Italy because, like I mentioned in our preview, usually they don't start tournaments very strongly. They just manage to get out of the group stage. Then they see them explode. But this one, from this first game, I don't know if it was because of the goal they considered the first second minute of the game that made them to the kind of urgency and. Tenacity. Then, unlike most Italian teams at this tournament, they also had the flair and you can enjoy their game.
Right.
There was something to like entertain you with their game. Jorginho, like I was telling you the other day, sometimes these club side fans can kill players with their mouth. Jorginho, that everybody feels. Arsenal fans feel that he's old, he should go this, that. Chelsea fans, throw him in the pocket. I mean, he ran the game yesterday, just like Xhaka for Switzerland. He was in the middle of everything for Italy yesterday, So, I agree with you, and I feel that this tournament is going to be well deserved by anybody that wins it because right now, you can imagine just France hasn't even played. I'm talking about 3-4 game teams already, and France is not even there. And, so I feel it's going to be anybody that has not been watching the games, please make out time. But if you can, stick around with the translative. We'll bring you the highlights and the reviews of these games. It's very exciting. So far, it's shown to be a very exciting tournament. I don't think anybody is going to have a party with this tournament. If you have to win it, you really have to work hard for it to win this tournament this year, the way I am looking at it so far. Though I'm not surprised because I already felt that a lot of the national teams in Europe have gone through that rebuild and they have come stable now. They're talking about Switzerland, Germany, France, England, Italy, Spain. All these teams are not in any way having a bad patch now. Everybody that loses a game, you will know it's just a one-off thing, not that they are doing badly at this time of their. But so let's focus a little bit on. Let me ask you again. Now we talk about teams. What about players? Are there any few players that so far in this first one games that they are playing? You mentioned Musiala right there. Any other one or two players apart from Musiala and Xhaka that you have really been impressed with in the few games you have watched?
I thought today for the Dutch team, I thought this guy, as frustrating as he can be, he's a very good player. Memphis Depay, very good player.
Yeah.
I wish there was I guess probably it's too late to mold that guy into what he can be. That guy can be world class.
If you can forget about the fans and don't focus on the football.
Oh my goodness. The talent is there for sure. You need to watch him touch the ball and you know that this guy has it. And he's strong. He's just, man, it's frustrating, honestly. He's a solid player. This Serbian team that played against England.
Yeah, we'll get to them. We'll get to them now.
Yeah. For Spain, again, we've talked about, the likes of, I saw Morata at his age still doing the thing for Spain, right? I thought he was great. You mentioned Yamin. Yamin was incredible for Spain as well.
Yeah.
Of course, we know Rodrigo brings his stuff to that midfield any day, anytime.
That's still, man. That guy sometimes is annoying. Sometimes
I don't know how.
Watch him because you can't just fault him. You can't just. There's nothing to talk about him that is negative. You just. If you're not a City fan, you just get angry anytime he's on the ball. But you can't win any duel against him. You can't get the ball off him, and he control. He's just Rodri is just something else.
And again, not because I'm an Arsenal fan. I love any Arsenal player, but Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is going to do something in this tournament.
Of course, he's come up
for Germany. I see a certain freedom in his game now that wasn't there before. He is there to play for the team. Whatever needs to be done, you see him running the channels, you see him holding up play, you see him bringing the skillful, fast players that they have into the play.
Yeah, and it looks like, you talk about Musiala, but it looks like the German national team kind of are looking up to him to make things happen for them. I think he has been given that ability to carry the team, kind of, strangely. Just like what he did for Arsenal in the second part of the season. I think it looks like in the national team now, Cavas is one player that everybody, even the players and the coaches, expect to make things happen for the team, which is good for him as a player.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. The one player in the Italian national team, Di Marco was very, very vibrant too in their game. I had made a lot of incursions from that left wing and created havoc for Italy. Yeah, like we said, it's really going to be an exciting tournament. I'm not going to miss a lot of the games. There's really matches to watch, and it's going to be entertaining for the fans. So let's focus a little bit on England. They played today. I know it's just the first game, and but still, it gives you an insight to what the team is going to be like. I have a few reservations for the team. I think their blessing is going to be their cause if Southgate doesn't manage it very well. For the first time, he's moving away from his natural thing, which for now, I don't know if it's good or bad for him. I think he's falling a little bit to the pressure to open up the team and unleash the talent that the team has. And I think it kind of affected the balance of the team today. England was all over the place. They had to kind of rely on individual brilliance. And the Serbian team looked more like a team than the English team. I believe Southgate needs to, I don't know how he's going to do it. You remember I mentioned when we were doing the pre-tournament show that Harry Maguire, whatever you're going to say about him in Manchester United, the national team has not failed England. And I know that without him being there, they're going to change the structure of that team and it might affect the team. And I saw that today. England was easy to play through. And going forward, there wasn't much cohesion in their game. So I don't know what your overall view about what they did today before we go into a few things that I noticed.
Your opening monologue is on point. I'm worried for England. Like you said, they were incredibly easy to play through. One of the reasons being Trent Arnold in midfield. You could see the pros of that, the positives of that, where he can pick a pass from anywhere and switch. But the cons are that he is not defensively solid enough.
He's exposed to Declan
He's exposed to Declan badly, right? And I think that if you want to win this tournament, don't make Declan Rice primarily a destroyer. Declan Rice has a lot he can offer. If you see today, he spent all game mostly.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to say that he's going to play that number 6 for you.
So you made a point. You said something here. Let your what do you call it? Is it your positives or your
blessing? Your blessing.
Don't let your blessings become a curse to you. Yeah. One of the big blessings, or two of the big blessings for England are Judebellingham and Phil Foden. England may end up losing this tournament because of those two players, if care is not taken. Right? Those two players there's a lot of flash, especially with Judebellingham. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of flash. I'm not quite sure that the quality and value being offered matches the noise that's being made.
The hype, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is where the chicken will come to roost, because these Euros, teams have come prepared. England managed to beat Serbia by a goal today. They were lucky to leave that game with a victory, all things considered. So you see that to win tournaments, there are certain players and certain ways you play, and it works for you, you stick to what works for you. I think that Southgate is between the devil and the deep blue sea. He cannot win. He cannot win at this point.
So he should just stick to what has worked for him.
So stick to what works for you and try and win the cup.
Yeah,
because short of winning this cup, you are done.
Exactly.
They've already decided that you're done. Fans and everything. So do what works for you to try and win this tournament. You're going to kill Declan Rice the way they're playing. And you made a good point. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Harry Maguire, but one of the things that he offers is that he is smart enough and bold enough to move forward with the ball. Right? McGahey is a good, solid.
He had a good game.
And he had a good game. But that's right. He had a good game. But at this level, this is what differentiates teams, right? I watched one of the popular YouTube people, pretty much slagging off Southgate. He believes that once the team scores and gets ahead, Southgate withdraws and everybody withdraws and allows the other team to attack. But if you want to keep attacking, you need certain elements.
Even before they go, that was on serious pressure. Maybe the person did not watch the game. That did what he had to do because he saw that there was constant pressure and padding. If Serbia was a little bit composed in front of goal, they would have equalized and won that game.
Another important point, which again plays into Southgate's mentality, is Harry Kane. Yeah,
I'll say when you finish your I was going to pick a few things. I was going to say it. Go ahead. Harry Kane, I think it's time to walk away from Harry Kane. He's not going to be in the team, but don't see him as that Messiah anymore. I think he has lost it.
I mean, why does he have to play 90 minutes of every game, no matter what?
Yeah.
At the point today, you needed a runner that will relieve.
Exactly. You have Ivan Toney there.
Yeah. Yes. Ivan Toney or Oli Watkins. They've done it over and over and over.
Exactly.
You had the tools to do that, right? Use the tools you have.
Because the way Saka and Foden were ready to play in this game, if he had Oli Watkins or Ivan Toney willing to go and run ahead of them, you'd have been more productive. But each time they have the ball, Harry Kane is drawing back. There's nobody there. Even the goal that there were 2 times Saka put in crosses. Harry Kane couldn't meet there because he was behind.
And granted, Phil Foden, yes, is an incredible player and all that. You see, he has a zone. He has protection. He has, he has the best of the best working with him at City that will give him that leverage to do what he does at City. At national team level, play him, I know, to an extent, at a point. Bring in someone like Eberechi Eze, a player that can has the physique, take anybody on, beat people on the, he has a burst of pace more than Phil Foden.
Yeah, Foden is not a winger, actually. That's what did him today. Play him from the wing like Saka. You're not going to get the best out of Foden. Foden is supposed to be playing around that pocket that Judebellingham
is playing.
So that's why I said the English blessing probably will turn to their cross if Southgate doesn't look at it very well, because the balance of that team wasn't good. Like you mentioned earlier on, I was going to come to it, ask you about Trent and Arnold. I think Arnold is not going to be supposed to be a starter for England. He's supposed to be a player that comes in to open up things when things are locked up. You don't start him when energies are at the same level. People will outrun him, and it will cause problem for your defense. Now, but let me ask you, so to create that balance, and like you already mentioned, I would have thought that they will have a 6 sitting behind the club. But who is that person in the squad?
You say what?
Who is that person that probably will play behind the Clarice, and the Clarice will play Arnold play today?
Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher is good enough.
He can do that 6?
Yes, he's good enough to play that 6. Apart from him, I'm thinking of the people in their squad. Adam Wharton of Crystal Palace. Tidy player on the ball, strong on the ball, smart again with the way he uses the ball. I mean, why did you get these guys on it?
Yeah,
Give them a
that was
chance.
why I was asking you about Gallagher. For me, is not that tidy and intelligent from that position. I don't think he's a player that he can help. You know, with the way what we're talking about in that position, you're the one that's going to build from behind. You know, so maybe the Crystal Palace guy would, for me, would do that job. Then play the Rice ahead of him, and between Phil Foden, like you mentioned earlier on, and Judebellingham, both of them, except the game is like you're desperate at this point. I don't think both of them should start the game at the same time. And I play one of them because one of them should be around that pocket and find a winger, like you said, mention a Jesse or some other person, or even play Watkins from that side. He can attack from there and come closer to Harry Kane. Sometimes he opens it up. You know, to give that team a kind of balance, because Foden too defensively, you know, is a liability. So, and that's one of the reasons why the defense, the team was easy to play through. Another thing I discovered also is Pickford. He makes saves, but all these players in the English national team play with teams that build from the back. They play Chelsea players, Arsenal players, City players. All these players have teams that build from behind, and you put a Pickford behind them that out of 10 times that has a goal kick, he's ballooning 8 long balls. So it kind of throws confusion in the air for these players. And so I don't know how Southgate is going to manage that. Like you mentioned about Kane, sometimes you might have to walk away from a few things. Not because I'm an Arsenal fan. In that regard, I think Ramsdale is better. So he needs to decide what he wants to do. People like Saka are not used to being recipients of launched long balls over and again, and they win their duels. And that was what made second half. Saka didn't have enjoy a good time against the guy that played left back. On the other side of the wing, Foden is the same thing. He can't be launching long balls to him and expecting to win it. So when these balls go up, they come back. So Southgate needs to probably, having been lucky to get 3 points today, because the next game is against Denmark, and that Danish team doesn't look like a team that's going to budge easily as well. So I don't know how you think it needs to restructure the team and make them a little bit more, have some cohesion and rhythm going forward.
Well, yeah, you've said it all. I am worried about bringing in Ramsdale. Ramsdale is not experienced enough in international football. You know, I worry about his temperament. I worry about the kind of goal he considered in their game. He shouldn't have considered that goal. And when you see some of the saves that Pickford makes during games, you will see why he's being played. So you can accommodate his shortcomings and kicking the ball for his saves, but then you play smart defenders, smart players that can come in, pick the ball and move forward with it. And you have ball carriers. That's what I'm saying. You have a ball carrier like Declan Rice. You're just using him primarily to just defend and do short passes. You know, let him find someone that can support and let him carry that ball forward.
To give to your winger, your vibrant player like Saka and Foden, all these players.
And get the likes of Bellingham more involved defensively. It's not just, you know, yes, we know you can score goals and all that. Your role needs to be defined in the team. His role at Real Madrid was defined. Final third, he becomes their
last
team
man running to the box.
Yes. But in England, you want to decide whether he's going to be, when you have the likes of Harry Kane in front of him, he shouldn't be the one that will be carry the burden of scoring goals.
Yeah.
He should have a more defensive burden, cover that central area, suffocate the teams with his energy and his ball skills and his ball safety. That way,
because before what Anthony did with him at Madrid, he was a box-to-box midfielder that can get into the box and score goals. But predominantly he was in the, like you said, get a 6, then play the Rice and the Judebellingham either side of the 6 in that midfield. Yeah. Then he gives you a very solid base, having lost Maguire the defense. So it makes it difficult for you to play against. Then in front of them, can now have, I know he's having issue with this debate, Foden and Saka, who is better. Don't listen to all this fan debate online. One of them should be on the bench, one on the field, except when it becomes desperate for you to get a goal. But for the balance of play, I don't think Saka and Foden should be on the pitch at the same time for now. Play one of them, then have some balance. Get a striker that is going to be ready to walk, to run at defenders and create open places for the wingers to play. Foden for me is not a winger. So, and already on that side of the pitch, you don't have the left back. You're playing Karen Trippier, who is a right-footed player on that side. So it's not going to give you anything coming in from there, from that wing. So you need somebody who is a winger that will open up, because Trippier is not coming forward. So you need to plant a winger there. Foden too is not a winger. He comes inside. At the end of the day, he creates a kind of confusion and chaos in that attacking turn. And that's what we saw today. Each time England went forward, they couldn't really keep the ball because there was no defined, like you said, role for some of these players. Except there was one time for like 5 minutes they were able to keep the ball around and they couldn't really penetrate anything. So I think Southgate, I'm not one of the people that criticize him. I'm not. That's not saying that he's a wonderful coach, but he has done a good job for England. I'm not going to lie. He hasn't won it, but I mean, going for three major tournaments and going all the way to semi-final and finals, it's not an easy feat to achieve. And I kind of have some sentiments for him. I wish that he can win it this time, but unfortunately, with what I saw today and what I've seen with other teams, and we are going to see again with France for sure, I don't even know. England should try as much as possible to get himself into the knockout stages, and then you can see what's going to happen from there. Like you mentioned, Gay, defensively as well, there's no lot of experience there for England in this tournament. I don't know how they're going to do it. If there's any injury, Trippier looks fragile. They're banking on what's his name, the Manchester United left back, to come back in maybe the third game. Luke Shaw. I don't know what Luke Shaw is going to offer England to hope on him going into the knockout stage. Good player, yes, but he's not been fit. And I don't know. So it's going to be, I'm worried for England, like you mentioned, and I don't think their fans should expect anything, the trophy. But, I mean, it's football. It's just one game. Southgate goes home and does his review and kind of try to retract back to what he has been doing, at least until they get to a certain stage of the tournament. He can now open it up and see what happens from there. For me, Arnold shouldn't be starting for England. He creates an imbalance in that midfield, and it's not looking, for me, it didn't look good today. Yeah, so I don't know. Tomorrow we'll look forward to the other games coming up. France is here to play, and obviously we know France is one of the favorites for this tournament, and we'll see what they're going to offer for us. So viewers, let us know what you think. You've seen what we have identified in the games. Let us know who are the players that have impressed you so far, the teams that you've been surprised about what they have done. England, do you agree with what we have said about England? You think they are going to win this tournament? And were you able to see what we saw? Do you think we're right with our observations about the team? And what are the adjustments you think Gary Southgate needs to make England fine at all cylinders? Thank you guys for staying with us. My brother, thanks for stopping by. We'll go again. We'll see you guys tomorrow and bring you more as the games come. Thanks, man, and see you. Ciao.
Thanks.